Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Happy New Year and welcome to Wildcast Studios on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your platinum award-winning and longest-running QMJHL podcast. We are the unofficial voice of your Moncton Wildcats, presented by Discount Flooring Service, a division of Fabulous Flooring, home to the largest variety of high-end current, discontinued lines in hardwood, ceramic vinyl, laminate flooring, luxury model tiles, blinds for immediate purchase. You can find them at 320 Collishaw Street in Moncton or call them at 506-859-9909. As always, fan listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Starbucks, Mr. Platinum DoorDash driver at your service, Mr. Ducks, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How was your weeks off?
Well, I got a slight correction to the intro here.
Yeah.
Because I was off for 2 weeks and not doing any DoorDash deliveries,
Oh,
I was
no.
demoted to gold status.
See, and I should have asked that. I thought about asking, but I was like, you know what? No, he's probably...
I went on there on Monday morning to go and schedule myself, and by golly, there was no option to schedule myself, so I had to wait till she was busy before I could go out and bang out some orders. But
well, that's what happens when you're in the middle of nowhere in Ontario.
That's right. Couldn't do any, had no DoorDash available in the bustling metropolis of Hillsdale, Ontario.
Which is how many people?
There's only one restaurant, not a stoplight, only a stop sign. And there's only one restaurant called Elon Pizza, not to be no relation to Elon Musk.
Sounds a lot like Hannah, Alberta.
Yeah.
No stoplights, one
There's a
pizza
Canada
place.
Obviously.
Obviously, like
there's a convenience store.
Yeah.
That I do sell pretty damn good butter tarts. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they generally do.
Yeah. And a pizza joint.
Nice.
And that's pretty much your Hillsdale, Ontario experience. But time of there was great. I would say probably the worst part of the entire vacation was the 6-hour delay at the Moncton airport.
Just 6 hours
on the night that we left. I easily could have went to that friggin' hockey game against the Eagles that we ended up losing, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I watched it at the airport and eventually got there. You know, we were supposed to be in Ontario at 7:30, but didn't get to Hillsdale until 2:00 in the morning. But other than that, everything was good.
Rental?
How was that one?
How was getting your car rental?
I didn't get a car rental.
Oh, you guys didn't get a car rental?
We got picked up at the airport.
Oh, okay. I bet they love that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely loved it. You know, the Colts game in Barrie was pretty good. You know, they got shut out by the Knights, which obviously I wasn't a big fan of. But I will say to the people who think that the Avenir Center is expensive, go to a game in Barrie. We're fortunate enough to have, you know, tall boy cans of beer.
Yeah.
I think for $11 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They sell the 355, the small cans of beer for $9.
Oh.
A small can of beer for $9.
Nope.
The tickets at the Avenir, you can get it for $24.
Yeah.
$32 in Barrie, and you're in a corner scrunched like this.
Wow.
No leg room, no ballroom. People understand what I mean by that. And it was just awful. I will give them props on a couple of things.
Okay.
They sell pitchers of beer for $25. You know, it's a big jug of beer for $25. So, you know, value wise, you might want to look at that instead of spending $9 on a little can. And they have a coffee bar.
Yeah,
you know,
I shared that when you sent the picture.
So you can get there. You can get a cup of coffee. You can add Kahlua to it. You can add Bailey's to it. You can add B52 to it. You can add Bailey's, Kahlua, and B52 to it. You know, you can get French vanillas. You can get hot chocolates. You can get, you know, and it's. I mean, yeah, it's going to cost you $9 for a Bailey's and coffee.
Yeah,
but look, on a cold night at the rink, and you're tired after a long day at work and you want to be able to stay awake for a game, I will pay $9 for a Bailey's and coffee, right?
Yeah.
It'll make your bowl run, I'll tell you that.
Even just to have different variations of coffee as opposed to just Tim Hortons.
Yeah. And I think that's the shout out to Ken Shea, who's informed us that Gavin Cornforth has popped in the door. So,
congrats. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. It's coffee bar is something I'd love to see.
Yeah.
It's different. I enjoyed it. French vanilla, cappuccinos, hot chocolates, coffee, and you can add whatever the hell you want to it. Like it was, that's one of my favorite thing that they have there that we don't have at the Avenir. So, props to Barry on that one. And other than that, the entire trip was good. A lot of hockey.
Yeah.
There was the game, the World Juniors, our
Wildcats?
own game.
Yeah.
I also binge watched Shoresy.
Oh yeah.
Do you watch Shoresy?
I watched the first 2 seasons.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons. I watched Letterkenny like the first 2 or 3 seasons. And then when that came, I kept seeing clips.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll try it. Yeah. And I mean, it's the same guys, so why not? But I haven't binge watched all of it. But
all 4 seasons we got through in 2 weeks, which I thought was pretty good. 5th season's out on Crave now, and I think it's hilarious. It's just if you're all the references to Ontario, talking about Wasaga Beach and all that. I mean, that's my people, right? So
yeah.
I never thought I'd get into it, but it's about hockey and it's funny, and other than that, worked and watched Shoresy, watched hockey.
Yeah, no, my speaking of travel, my daughter's plane was supposed to arrive on Tuesday at 5:00 in the afternoon. So I wasn't going to go to the Teddy Bear Toss game. Then it was delayed till 10. So I was going to go, and then it wasn't delayed. So I wasn't going to get to go. And then it was a layover of 56 hours. She was supposed to get in at 2 a.m. on New Year's Day.
56 hours?
Yep. And then we got her to the airport in Edmonton and said, figure this out. We'll pick you up, Fredericton, St. John, Bathurst, Halifax, Charlottetown, Montauk, Summerside. I don't care where. And they finally got her into Halifax at 6 a.m. on New Year's Eve. So
that's why you guys are on the road at 4 o'clock.
We got up at 3 o'clock at 3:45. For those who want to just go to Halifax at 3:45 in the winter, to highly suggest it. Copacool Pass, good times.
Love it.
Had to go down to about 60 all over the road. Couldn't see anything.
Oh yeah.
And got to where I paid for the actual pass, and I'm like, "How's the rest of this? Am I dealing with this? I don't know. I've been stuck in this booth for 12 hours. That's your job. It's your whole job. Like, look on the internet. Let me know. And it was fine once we got through there. And 6 a.m. You guys want anything to eat? Nope. Flipped her around, came back, got to Moncton at like 8:30, and took Kiva to daycare because they were open for half a day. We all came home, went to bed, because if mom and dad don't sleep, mom and dad aren't great parents.
Yeah.
And so, but had Haley here for the 5 days, went to the New Year's Eve game, which was kind of fun. It was a good time. It was really cold, so it wasn't much to do outside. Went to Zoo Lights for the first time ever, actually, which, again, it was like minus 23 with the wind chill, so not the best. Maybe let the fires run in when it's minus 23. So we had to go into the Beaver Tails Lounge just to warm up for a bit, but no, it was good. And she left as of recording today on Tuesday at 3:30 I got up at 3:30 in the morning again, but just had to drive to the Moncton airport to get her on the plane. So, but yeah, it was a good time. I am so glad my work gave me the week off. Yeah. I can never stand working over this holiday. It is the greatest week to take off because you're just filled with, I'm filled with cola after 8s, and I don't know what day it is. So it's a good time. And
I'm filled with pepperoni and cheese. That's pretty much all I ate for 2 weeks. So
exactly. Yeah. All right. Don't forget, as always, you can follow us on the social medias, Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, Wildcast Podcast as well here on the YouTube. Don't forget to like and smash the subscribe button. Lets us know you like what we're doing. Plus, click that little bell so you don't miss any of our podcast post games or any lives that we may or may not do into the second half. We do have a quick question for us. This comes from Andrew on Twitter.
Drew Bear?
No, Andrew14 or handle Andrew040909.
Bot.
His quick question is a two-parter. Which trade deadline deal do you see making the most impact for the rest of the season and into the playoffs? So we'll make that a league-wide one. And we'll get into all the specifics of most of the deals in the news here in a minute, but we'll each make a deal. And then the other part, which Wildcats related acquisition do you feel stands out the most en route to a potential repeat? We can either answer that or we can wait to answer that in the recap of the 2 weeks that was. But I guess which deadline deal do you feel is going to have the most impact for the rest of the season?
I mean, look, it's there was maybe 3 teams that were the most busy. 2, one was extremely busy, one was busy, and one was us.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll kind of go a little off the board here. I'll go with Newfoundland's acquisition of Louis-Antoine Deneau. They absolutely needed goaltending, and they went out and got it, and didn't end up paying. We saw what Blainville paid for Lascelles, and Wormuski's GM saying, when all things are said is done, it's going to be the biggest trade in Q history.
Bigger than Dobson deal? That's
apparently it's apparently bigger
the
than
Pelche
Dobson
deal was like 3 years running on that.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
So we'll see what he means by that. But to go out and get Deneau, who stood on his head in the playoffs in the first round last year, he annoyed the crap out of me. But to only pay a second and a third for him, a guy that can come back next year too for Newfoundland, it's and he's already pulling his weight, for the regiment. So I think that's to me, with no disrespect to the moves that Shikudu made or the moves that Blainville made or any other moves, I think that one's going to be the one that pays the most dividends, down the stretch here and into the playoffs, because it's Newfoundland's fighting right now. I think they're probably fourth or fifth in the conference, but that's going to make them better. And it's one of those things where if there's no upsets in the first round, that's probably the team we're going to get in round 2, and
potentially then it goes to league wide.
Yep. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay in the net, and maybe a cop-out answer, but it involves the team you were just talking about, but a goaltender they didn't get that they, I guess, were rumored to get. Jonathan Houdon from Chicoutimi's, who reports on them, is talking about all the rumors that were in and out there. But, it's Chicoutimi going and getting Lucas Beckman. Speaking of a goaltender we've seen can steal things, he's injured now, so it's going to take him some time. They can afford to take as much time as they want with him. It kind of reminds me a little bit last year of Lascelles. Lascelles got injured near the end of the year, but they went and got Lajovan, and they were able to kind of let Lascelles get completely healed before he started playing in the playoffs. And it's been proven you need 2 goaltenders in the playoffs to win. Us last year, Chicoutimi, who else? Leland said had the tweet on there.
Yeah, he did.
Lajovan and Lascelles. Chicoutimi made sure to let him know that. And there was one other from, I think, 2022 or 20. There was one that kind of I didn't think of, but it's proven you need 2 goaltenders. And so for Chicoutimi to basically get every player in the league that they could acquire, which they had all the picks to do it, like we talked about, they were loaded to go all in. I think that deal is probably going to be the one that pushes them over the edge. You're one injury away in net, and especially when you go kind of all in like that. I can't remember who tweeted it today. Oh, Yannick Jean was talking about it. Like Drummondville lost Maverick Lamoureux, was able to win because they got Komarov at the deadline. They were able to insulate themselves from an injury. Well, Gatineau lost Warren, and they couldn't get past. They couldn't figure it out. So I think for them to go get some insurance for Precor in case something goes wrong, I think is smart. And I think that's going to be the deal. They gave up Xavier Dag, Mathis Hernandez, a second in 2026 and a first in 2028, which all said and done, depending how these things go, that could be a lottery selection in 2028 for Baie-Comeau. So I think that's the one. Wildcats related acquisition. Do you want to wait?
We've only really seen one.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe a question for next week that we can.
Yeah.
Let's get a couple games in with the guy, the D from St. John, Villan,
Yeah, Villain,
and
Cornforth
Justin,
and Dave
Cornforth
Petit
and Robinson, and let's
yeah.
get it. Let's
we're gonna talk about the deals.
Push that one the next week.
Yeah, we'll push that part 2 to next week. So appreciate that, Andrew, and we'll keep that for next week. And yeah, because I mean, there wasn't a lot of deals high end that we made, and we knew we weren't going to make a lot of them, but we need to see how these go for with a full roster. So we'll put that into next week. Appreciate the question. All right, let's get into some news and notes from around the queue.
News and notes from around the queue.
And news and notes from around the queue is presented by Speedy Auto Service on Mountain Road. Whether it's routine maintenance, major repairs, the team at Speedy keeps you safe and back on the road fast. With tire season here, now's the perfect time to book your tire swap and get a great deal on new tires. Locally owned, trusted by Moncton drivers, and proud to deliver honest service every time.
Yeah, I can confirm.
Visit Speedy Moncton at 905 Mountain Road or call them at 506-857-2282, where great people provide great service. The CHL and the OHL are mourning the loss of former commissioner David Branch. He was 77. He was born in Bathurst, New Brunswick, but he lived a long time in Whitby, Ontario. He had a 45-year tenure as the OHL commissioner from 1979 till 2024. I mean, the OHL was the darling of everyone. London was the standard, still kind of is the standard. I mean, OHL in Ontario, they know. He brought that up. He was instrumental in bringing a lot of grassroots hockey. He received the Order of Canada. So, and they named the CHL Player of the Year is named after David Branch. So sympathies to his family. What else we got here? Canada wins bronze. You won your last game of the tournament. Can't get past Czechia. And again, there's a lot of people putting a mematorium on this thing and what needs to happen, and we're too viral and too much emphasis on skill and points and this and that. This team played really well. This team lost one game. They beat Czechia in the relegation round. They lost one game. I mean, they had 4 guys in the NHL that make a massive difference. Like, I don't think it's a tear down to the studs type of thing, but Czechia just has our number when it matters, and it's something it's mentally something they gotta get over, and we gotta get as Canadians. I saw things online. It's like, when I grew up, we were physical. We had WHL guys running guys through the boards, and we hit everything that moved, and this and that. What if other countries caught up to us?
Yeah.
Like, it might not be what's wrong with us. It's other countries are catching up. I mean, we're having trouble with Latvia last year.
Yep.
We had issues with Latvia this year. Like, it's other countries are coming up. It's making the tournament better. Too bad nobody in Minnesota saw it, but that's another story. But yeah, it's just other countries are getting better. It's maybe not just a Canada thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Like, 15 years ago, it was maybe a 3-team tournament.
Yeah.
It was Canada, the US, and Russia, and Sweden, Finland were there, but they weren't at that same level. So these countries have stepped up their game. They're investing in their players. They're getting better trainers. They're getting skill coaches. They're bringing in these people that need to improve the overall program. I mean, Canada calls it the program of excellence. Well, it seems like all these countries are getting a program of excellence because they're keeping up with Hockey Canada, and that's what makes the World Juniors even better now. It's I'm excited for the Olympics because it's going to be best on best, but we just saw best on best when it comes to U20, and there's nothing to be ashamed about when it comes to a bronze medal. It's obviously not the medal. It's not the medal they wanted. Yeah, Czechia owns us right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to see them again next year in Edmonton because they're in our group.
Yeah.
They're in Canada's group. Canada's got Czechia. I mean, it's probably the weaker of the two groups. It's Canada, Czechia, Switzerland, Latvia, and Norway. And on the other side, it's the U.S., Sweden, Finland. I think we're gonna have to see Czechia again.
Yeah.
And
I think they can bring back 8 guys.
Yeah,
8 or 9
Canada
guys.
can bring back 10. I mean,
Sweden can bring back probably 12, I think, in winning in the tournament. So.
Canada's not going to bring back 10 guys.
No.
But I think next year looks pretty good. Maybe Coach Mack will finally get his opportunity to coach the team instead of being an assistant. And I think if that happens, we're back on the podium, back on top.
And I will say the league and the Wildcats shared it. I mean, poignant words from him. Obviously, it's not the medal they want, but they got to win their last game.
Yeah.
Czechia can't say that. And like he said, when you look back on this 10, 15 years later, you get to tell your kids about a bronze medal.
Yeah.
It's maybe the only time some of these guys wear a Canadian jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike Johnson said it during the lineup kind of thing. So it's one of those things where it's a very cool experience for every single one of them. And it was fun to watch. And, you're a little bit more invested with Desi. And I think he finished with 6 points. So 6 or 8 points. So he was there. He just couldn't find the net. And,
he was around the net.
He was around the net all the time.
He got his points, and next season he'll have a bigger impact on the team, and that's what you want. He's he'll probably wear the C next year on Team Canada, because I think he was voted the second most obnoxious or boisterous player on Team Canada. So doesn't matter where he goes. He's Desi's being Desi, and I think when push comes to shove next season, I think he's got that C on his jersey at the World Juniors.
He won a medal. He got to play with high-end players, and he came out healthy. Literally nothing else. Like, he missed 2 weeks, or he missed a month and a half of hockey. He got some extra hockey in there at a high level, and he came out healthy. Yeah. That's the best that you can ask for. Trades upon trades upon trades, sir.
And we're going to talk about each and every single one of them.
So get ready, get your coffee, get your whatever you're drinking, and we go.
Not actually, no. I'm out the door if that happens.
Which are the deals? Like, I mean, I know we just kind of talked about it, but what's Cape Breton doing?
What is Cape Breton doing?
They went out and got one of the higher skilled forwards in Royal Boyard, and then they gave away 4 young assets. 4
players under the age of 18 within 24 hours.
That, for a city that wants to, and this is after they gave up Lavwall, which everyone kind of knew was coming, got a haul for him. Are they not one of the teams that are kind of going with us for the 2028 Memorial Cup?
Not anymore.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, I thought maybe they were flipping Boyard for another first to some other team.
Apparently, Sylvain Couturier was up in the press booth in Sydney saying that they think next season is their year to win. So that's why they went out and got Bollard. And I think you'll see them make some interesting decisions in the offseason. Because, again, that's a team that has a boatload of picks available that can make some noise. And, they've got 2 firsts in 2026. They've got 3 thirds in 2026. 2 firsts in 2027.
Yeah.
So they have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, right? So they can make some noise.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see them make some noise at the draft, and if not at the draft, around this time next year. They apparently want to win next season, and which is an interesting decision, given that these 4 guys that were under 18 were legitimate prospects that would have been 18 or 19 years old in 2028. So it's I'm going to be following along with what the Cape Breton Eagles decide to do in the next 6 to 12 months.
We need Sir Drew Bear, to have Mr. Couturier on and figure out what they were doing. I think the other team that surprised me the other way was Shawinigan.
Yep,
they moved from Tournier. They moved Bollard out. Lacerte is still there. Plamondon is still there. Like, these were guys that we were talking about going out and getting a top 4 defenseman in Plamondon. Put Lacerte on the wing with Desi, as a finisher. Like, it just seemed like, I don't know, maybe if you thought it, but it kind of seemed like some teams were maybe scared off by what by Chicoutimi buying everything that they could get their hands on. But it kind of seemed a little weird on like Shawinigan seemed like they were selling when they let go of Tournier, and then all of a sudden they were like, we'll just slow down a bit on this.
At the same time, I think they still want to be competitive.
Yeah.
They're right there. It's not an overly competitive Western Conference.
Mhm.
So I think a couple, a few wins can get them right up there.
I mean, they're 2 points out of first place right now.
Well, that's it, right? I don't think you want to sell off when you're sell everything when you're 2 points out.
Yeah.
And Blainville, I mean, I'm still not convinced. So maybe Shawinigan thinks that, even though we let go of Jordan Turingi, we can still make a run. So it's the parity in this league is unbelievable this year because all the teams are good. And I really think we're in for a dandy second half. Like you could probably make the assumption that, the two teams next season that won't make the playoffs are going to be Blainville and Chicoutimi.
Yeah.
But you never know, right? They could, with all these rule changes, these guys can just, swoop in some players from the States and all of a sudden they're right there. It's, you never know. And it's just crazy parity.
And I had a couple memes on my phone for every time I flipped it open. It was Chicoutimi makes this deal. Chicoutimi makes this deal. Which when you have the picks and you're going all in, it is what it is. And but I was like, I wonder how hard Richie and Yannick are on the phone with Tynan. Like, look what we've built. Look what we have. Look at this. We have the chance to compete. And then obviously he's going to BC, but
it looks great on paper. Now they got to put it together. I think
that's the thing.
The chemistry thing. It's the chemistry thing. The chemistry thing that they're doing on the team.
Welcome back to the shows, everybody. We are rolling back.
We are sober tonight.
We don't get preseason to say we're working into this. No. Here we go. We're back.
You worry about bringing in so many different guys and personalities clashing on in the dressing room and off the ice, and that's my concern. I think that's my concern in Blainville, and they've proven in the first half that I know they've had some injuries, but they should be winning games. They're losing more games than they should and
lose them when they're up.
And that's
too
it. And I think they address their goaltending, which I think is good, but again, I think it's a chemistry thing and a click thing that if anything goes south in Blainville and Chicoutimi, that's going to be their downfall. Is just different personalities and cliques that are forming amongst the groups that could affect them in the long run.
And it's the second year that we've made all the moves in the beginning of the year, which we thought Blainville was doing, to allow your team to get chemistry. Well, it's not really working for them. And again, we made all of our moves, our acquisitions kind of early in the year, and then we just pieced it together on where we thought we were going to be able to add. And again, we're going to have Taylor MacDougall on here in just a bit. We got some teams of the week finally. Some teams of the week, sir. It's exciting.
My team of the week is back. Yeah.
The Legends team or just the
not the
team?
Legends.
Not
no,
the Legends.
The Legends is a work in progress.
In fairness, I asked him to do it over Christmas break. So that's on me. That's my bad.
And I was in one over the Christmas break, so I wasn't.
When they have pictures at a hockey game, we're in one. Team of the week, Justin LaRose from the Regiment. 4 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Felix Lacerte from Shawinigan, 3 goals and 6 assists in 5 games. Igor Shilov from Victoriaville, 5 goals, 3 assists in 5 games. Felix Plamondon from Shawinigan, 1 goal, 6 assists. 5 games. Alex Wang from Chicoutimi, 2 goals, 5 assists in 5 games. And Felix Hamel from Cape Breton, 3-0, a 9.51 save percentage, and a 1.3 goals against average. And your player of the week from the Regiment, Justin LaRose, 5 goals, 3 assists, and 4 games played. So it's pretty good team. But now everyone's second favorite part of the show.
It's now time for the one and only Boucher's Team of the Week.
Thank you, Johnny, and happy belated birthday to Johnny, of course. We are going to start in goal for this week. We're going with Samuel Caulfield, a free agent signing from in Bay Como.
Mm-hmm.
Still not technically a qualified goaltender.
Right, yeah.
But let's say he was. He would be third in goals against average and first in save percentage.
Nice.
He has a 244 goals against and 928 save percentage.
I love that qualified goaltending because that was Rudy last year. He was leading everything, but he wasn't qualified because of games.
Yeah, qualified.
Yeah. I'll tell you qualified.
Yeah, I'll show you qualified. And I'll jump from goalie to forward. First forward is he's on the Q name team.
Yeah.
Korniev.
Yeah.
Victoriaville, 2 goals against his former team, the Chicoutimi Saguenayens, to help the Tigs pull off the upset.
Nice.
Yeah. And second forward is Samuel Boyer. I know Drew Burr is going to hate this one, but after only scoring 2 goals with Cape Breton in 15 games, he's 1 for 1 with Shawinigan.
Nice.
There's one of your U18 prospects that you traded away. And thirdly, I'm going to go with Desi.
Yeah.
For representing Canada on the world stage, and tonight, despite not scoring, he, like we said earlier, picked up a few points, and but I think he also had to adjust his game to play more of a defensive role, which I think he did extremely well. That was, you saw that the line with him and Baudouin and Sam O'Reilly kind of start periods off right to get things going. So
it's funny, the very last penalty kill when they were trying to get the empty net for Sam O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I was like, can you stop trying to block shots, bro? Just get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Just get off. Just get out of the way. We don't need an injury on the final 30 seconds of the game.
Tommy Blisle. I'm going to have Tommy Blisle in here too. 7 points last week. Somehow doesn't make it on the Q team of the week. 7 points in 3 games or 4 games. Not sure how that doesn't work.
That's there.
And just because I usually do have one player from the Q team of the week, I'll throw this one on here with Felix Plamondon.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to drink the Kool-Aid for the league. So I'll throw one of their players from their team of the week onto mine to round things out. So that's the Boucher team of the week.
It's a great team of the week.
Thank you.
It's a great team of the week, sir. Are you ready to talk to our guest?
Bring them on in.
Let's do it. All right, let's get to our annual chat.
Yeah, it's a good time for it.
View from the other bench.
And View from the Other Bench is presented by Waterworks Pools and Spas, providing Atlantic Canadians with custom in-ground pools, spa service, and supplies since 1986. If you're looking for a new spa service and maintenance by their trained technicians or getting your pool water from green to clear, visit them at 194 Killam Drive in Moncton or call them at 506-859-1980. It is that time, Mr. Boucher. Another trade deadline, as we said, is behind us. So it is time for our annual trade deadline chat with our general manager, Taylor MacDougall. First of all, Taylor, Happy New Year. How are you?
Thank you very much. And same to you guys. Doing well. How you guys making out?
Yeah, just back ready to be done with the holidays.
Yeah. It's time for bed here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess first off, this trade period way less divisive with the fan base as we get into a chat with you. Of course, as we've said, you put up banners, you trust the guys that put up the banners, and you earned that last year. But when you look at last year's first move, it was Max Cote, an underrated player that maybe nobody saw coming. This first deal with Depate, was it kind of the same thing that you saw in terms of maybe upgrading that Q experience on the back end in front of Jacoby, Robinson, and obviously Rudy?
Yeah, like a little. I think it was more. We really felt the player fit the way we want to, like, that this group plays or that we aspire to play.
Mm-hmm.
And probably had, we just felt like if we could obtain at least one more puck mover or a guy who plays fast in the back end, it would kind of help our overall team speed, which we think is a strength of the group this year. So he's a guy that we targeted fairly early in the process and thought, hey, if we could at least get this out of the way early, we'd be really happy about that. And obviously he's a player who, to your point, has a lot of experience in the league, which you can never have enough of. And he's a guy who's been to 2 TELUS Cups in U18 hockey, and so he's been a part of teams that have played for a long time, which again you can never have enough of that. And he's a young man who's really excited to be in Moncton. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, and I'm sure it'll wear off, but I have yet to see him without a big smile on his face so far, and that alone is infectious and fun to see every day, quite frankly.
It's captain with a smile on his face all the time too, so and that hasn't worn off. So
yeah. And he's already making an impact, right?
Yep.
So and I think one thing that kind of stands out to me is his competitiveness is like off the charts. Like he just brings it, every time he steps on the ice, he brings it. Obviously I want to ask you about that, the signing of Gavin Cornforth. It's not to toot my own horn here, but I kind of heard about it on Boxing Day. So I was kind of keeping my my lips and my fingers off social media as much as I could.
He's like, hey, you may want to make a graphic for this.
Yeah, you might want to put this one together.
What?
But originally drafted by Moncton, I remember him coming to camp in 2022, and just being a young guy, he stood out. And so it's nice to obviously finally see him in a Wildcats uniform. But how did that all come about? And when did the conversation start on that one?
Yeah, well, I guess the conversations would have started back in 2022 when Gavin was originally selected by the organization, and I had absolutely no part in that. So the people in the organization that were thoughtful enough to pick a player with his qualities, like we're very thankful that took place. And then when Gavin came to camp that season, to your point, like he had a fantastic experience, and I think it speaks to our organization's reputation, and just kind of the really good foot that our ownership and our organization put forward when Gavin did become familiar with our organization. And I think that sparked an interest to sort of like maybe kind of follow along or stayed in arm's reach throughout his career, and then when the changes happened, Gavin was in a really good organization in Dubuque last year who had a strong group and were making a run of their own, and it made sense that he played in Dubuque and continued to play there. And then this season was obviously on a very strong Boston College team, and kind of made the decision to make a bit of a change in his development path. And because of his positive experience a couple of years prior, I think it made it a little bit more straightforward. So it was just a matter of kind of keeping the dialogue open and seeing where it went, and being fortunate enough to try and take advantage of some of these changes that have happened in the last year with the whole eligibility thing as well.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on social media with the "I Love the Corn" song, and
Yeah.
we're excited for that player. And speaking of social media, I mean, I don't know how much you're on Twitter, but there may have been a Moran watch floating out there, and
Not sure who would start something
I don't
like
know
that.
who started it.
Don't know about it.
But look, the fans were spoiled last year with Dylan Gill coming back. I don't want to say secretly, but no one kind of saw that coming, and we had to acquire him. And so obviously with the ECHL thing, 5 was out there, and people are like, oh, it's a free edition. Let's get that going. And, I had the social media thing about like, hey, my guy waiting for moves. I guess, was that something early on that you knew wasn't going to happen, or was it evolving and changing? And then all of a sudden, for instance, we'll say Sunday night, you found out he's not coming back. I mean, they sent back Basha to Medicine Hat. So was that something you knew at a certain point and then you went to your plan, or was it kind of you knew early on and your plan was your plan the whole time?
Yeah. Those situations are, I don't want to use the word difficult, because like we're extremely proud and happy that Mo is where he is. That's what we aspire to do. Like, we want players to come play here and move on to successful pro careers and move on to careers in the American Hockey League. And the more times a player can go from Moncton directly into the American Hockey League or the NHL, the more proud we are of it. And so in most cases you want him to be successful, right? And he is being successful, and that's fantastic. So you kind of you continue on with, I kind of prefer to deal with certainties as much as you can. And so we kind of proceeded with the things that we were certain about, knowing also that the timeline that you traditionally kind of find out on those players, and it's not early in the trade period, right? Like Dylan Gill, I think was whatever it was, January 3rd or January 2nd or something like that last year, and that was a legitimate one. It wasn't like something that we found out way earlier and then all of a sudden you change it up or whatever. So it was similar. You keep those timelines in mind as you're kind of going through your plan, but at the same time, it was never something that we were like sort of counting on, and more so we were hoping Mo could continue to be successful in kind of his pro journey like he is. So you're kind of weighing it out the entire time, I guess, is probably the most honest answer to that.
Yeah. Sure. And I don't know who would start a rumor like that on social media about him coming back. It could have been more. Not sure why we would. I'm not sure why we would do something like that. It wouldn't make sense.
No pressure.
No, not at all. Just kind of a more of a timeline looking forward. With the next week or two or what have you. There, like not to say that I'm not happy with the group, but what can we expect maybe in terms of reassignments, waiver claims, free agent signings? Because I know like last year Binkley came on January 31st, right? So what's kind of like the timeline for something like that to come about?
I think you just leave yourselves, or we try and keep ourselves as flexible as we can. We are, we're really happy with the group, to be honest. Like we know that the league is as good as it's ever been, and the top end of the league is fantastic. So by no means are we complacent, but we also are cognizant of the fact that the group is pretty tight knit, and they're getting better every day. We just have to ensure that they keep doing that to give ourselves a chance, and as they're doing that, kind of continue to evaluate it and provide ourselves a little bit of flexibility on roster management and see kind of what's needed at appropriate times. But at the same time, the group that we see in front of us, at this minute, is one that we're happy with this, like, as well. So,
is there a roster freeze deadline with the new NCAA kind of thing?
I think we're discovering rules every day. I think a little bit on that stuff, but there would be there'd be sort of a traditional freeze as of January 10th, and then a little bit of called a more flexible freeze that goes into effect on February 10th. So that's sort of the drop dead date that you're looking at is February 10th, but you're much more limited on a type of kind of roster configuration you can make after January 10th.
I'm happy with the group. I said before the trade deadline, I said 3 players. I didn't know who they were, and if there was no players and this was the group, I trusted the coaching staff to make things happen, and that trust comes from last year. But when you kind of look forward out of this deadline to come away, I'll take a question from Jeremy last year. With your 2027 first, 2028 first, you still got those first round picks. When you look at the way you built the roster last year and having things in the cupboard when we were kind of pushing the chips in, so to speak, and then this season is almost mirroring last season in terms of the trade deadline. You plug some holes here and there without going after a major fish, and you still have assets, your first in 2027 and 2028. How much of that is in the back of your mind again this year in terms of planning for now, this season, and as well the potential for the Memorial Cup in 2028 if we wanted to put a bid in to host that?
Yeah, I think you're weighing each of those factors as you're going through the through the trade period, but at the same time, like we're in the here and now. Like I'm really proud of the group and how they performed, and so the the focus was, how do we give this group the best chance to continue to be successful at the end of the year? At the same time, like, there is a certain responsibility that I think goes into kind of evaluating and managing an organization. And like, we were in on really big stuff, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And you can kind of see that by the trade period. There's things that we are really, really excited that we were able to add to our roster. And at the same time, we're excited about the fact that we can continue to manage the roster kind of on a year by year basis, and continue to give groups chances to be successful where they kind of show it's necessary, and if you look forward to that 2028 year, like, yeah, it's nice to be able to be in that position to, if that's a route that we go, just like I said, continue to give groups a chance to be successful through a variety of different ways where it's required.
And obviously a bit of a last fun one for me, showcasing the city, the team. Desi was at the World Juniors. Your dad, head coach Gardiner, was at the World Juniors. We got Hockey Day in Canada coming up. Just how excited are you for A, that event, and B, lacing up the skates and, playing against NHLers? And are you going to be beaking Kevin Bieksa?
We're extremely excited. We're just so proud to be part of the organization that we are, and part of the community that we are in Moncton, and extending that through the province of New Brunswick, that anytime you have a chance to showcase something that we are so proud of, like, we get very excited at that opportunity, right? And I think that the Hockey Day in Canada, but it's sort of like an entire week of activities that'll give the community a chance to showcase itself, and the organization a chance to showcase itself. Like, we're extremely excited about that, because we have so much to showcase, and we're so fortunate to be able to do that. And yeah, I told myself like a month ago, the coaches were joking that's like, we need to have like some sort of like training camp or something for this game, because I have not, it's been, not that it was ever pretty when I wore my skates, but it's been a while. So at least our coaches have the benefit of throwing the skates on every day in a tracksuit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work fast here. I got a big week in front of me before Friday to offer any sort of productivity out there.
Any sort of chirps?
Oh, I will not be. I will just be trying to have enough wind to have a conversation, let alone chirping. So
yeah. Well, if you want some chirps, I binge watched Shoresy over the holidays, and there's some pretty good ones on that.
Send those over. I need to. I probably need to brush up on my Shoresy, but so I don't know if this is accurate, but I would imagine my contributions being somewhat similar to the main character of that show if I don't get going here in the next 7 days. So.
Speaking of holidays, obviously I think we all can agree that you yourself got some free time. I saw you do some hunting on Instagram, but I think what everybody really wants to know is, did you find time, Taylor, to watch the End of an Era docuseries?
Oh man, I have not, but I think it's played in our household, that's for sure. I've gotten some snapshots from Kels, my wife, of some dancing going on in our living room with our year-old and our 4-year-old. So yeah, our household has gotten a chance to watch that one. I'll have to do some catching up now this trade period is over.
I will tell you, it's from a man to a man. It is very emotional. Yeah. I did. There were for a few tears
from one man to a man.
Yeah,
I watched.
Adam didn't cry, but I'll admit that I did. It was pretty good. I highly recommend it. Yeah, you definitely have to sit down and watch it sometime.
Alrighty, I will. I will make sure that I do that. Thank you.
Well, man, we appreciate you on a busy trade deadline day, taking the time to have a chat with us. And I guess we'll give you the time off to maybe go get on the Swiftie watch there and get back to your family, who obviously you have to spend the time with when you do what you do, and bringing banners, and hopefully continued success in the second half. Taylor, thanks for doing this tonight.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And yeah, my wife's gonna find that hilarious that this came up again. So that's that's great.
Yeah,
But
this
thank
will
you.
be the clip that goes out tonight. Just to let you know, this will be the clip. So you will be tagged again.
She'll love that. That'll be great. But no, thank you. Thank you for the support and thank you for the time tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Taylor.
Okay, see you guys.
You and Swiftie.
Hey, look,
You and Swiftie.
the Kleenexes were out.
It's just wild. Like just
honestly,
wild.
it's I don't know if it's just like when I hear somebody else crying, I start to cry. But like it was for me, it was emotional. Like it was a very well put together documentary.
Oh, it's very
And when you have that kind of that connection where you like you're a fan of the singer,
Yeah.
and you kind of like when she gives 6-figure bonuses to her dancers,
Yeah.
right? Like how
Yeah.
can you not get emotional seeing something like that? These are people who probably grew up with parents that had to work 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to afford for their kids to be in dance.
Oh yeah. Like,
And speaking from a dance dad, like it can get costly, right?
yes.
It's
That's why Kiva's not allowed to dance.
having your children in
Any sport.
extracurricular activities
Yeah.
can be expensive.
Yeah.
And then, you get recruited to tour with Taylor Swift for 170 odd days over the course of 2 years. And then you're getting a 6-figure bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just stuff like that. Just it tugs on my heartstrings and gets me going. Like it's just small stuff like that.
Spoiler alert.
If you didn't watch it, I mean, it was pretty clear.
Yeah. I mean, no, I was gonna say spoiler alert. Like, I wish it would have, like I said, Taylor, I wish it would have gone a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
On how because I used to be in a band, and so that stuff is cool to me. I wish they would have done a little bit like an episode on how many trucks it takes, how long its setup is.
Yeah.
Like it just, I went and looked and I was like, I've seen Metallica 6 times. So I was like, I swear to God, their Black album was like 300 dates and it was 256.
Yeah.
But they weren't stadiums. Like they were arenas every night or whatever, but they weren't stadiums. Like to do 156 stadiums, never miss a show. And I think what the most impressive part is, and we're going to get to hockey here in just a minute.
No, we're not. We got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, kind of. I think the most impressive part was she would go in and do these melodies and play with Ed Sheeran, play with Sabrina Carpenter, play with
Gracie Abrams,
and know the songs.
Yeah.
And can play the songs on the guitar. Yeah. Like it just wasn't like if you go and watch that and you watch the 3-hour show, there's no screens anywhere with lyrics. None. And you know, yes, Metallica is getting older, but some of these bands have their lyrics come up on a prompter. She had none of that. Like it's wild for 3 hours, 30 or 43 songs or something. Yeah. And the other thing that got me, not emotional, but I didn't understand. Sure. I didn't realize her band. I did not cry. I will not cry. Layla was like, if you were there, because Haley was like, I watched every one on TikTok and I cried every time. And I'm like, come on. Layla's like, if you were there, if we were in the crowd, you'd probably get emotional. I was like, no, I'd enjoy it. I'd sing along to the songs I know on the radio, but I'm not crying. Yeah. It's just not who I am. Like it is. I just wish, like, I was shocked at how older, like her band was older. It's been with her the whole time. Yeah, like, that was cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. 6. It's on Disney Plus, and it's worth to watch. Even if you're the slightest Taylor Swift fan, it's worth it. It's fun to watch.
All right, let's talk about our team.
Weekly Rewind.
And Weekly Rewind is brought to you by Alphas Appliance Solutions. Right now, they got the Whirlpool Maytag Boxing Day Kitchen Sale. Save $150 when you purchase 2 qualifying Whirlpool and or Maytag major kitchen appliances. Save $300 when you purchase 3 or more qualifying purchases made until tonight. For those or any other deals, give them a call at 506-858-5111 or visit them at 25 Halifax Street or go online to alphaappliancesolutions.ca. The Wildcats go 5-1 over the Christmas break, bringing their record to 26-7-2-1 for 55 points, putting us second place in the Eastern Conference and in the QMJHL, which would give us a first round matchup this week with the Mooseheads.
Oh.
Last time it was Newfoundland. This week it was
give me
Halifax.
Eric Lelinius and Sean Carrier all day.
Yeah, 100%. Again, we're not going to go through each and every game, but as a whole, in the 6 games, we said they were going to be pushed. They were pushed. Got to stop getting behind. I think their worst games were the one before the deadline and the one after. They almost lost for the first time in back-to-back games in regulation since 2024, March of 2024, so almost 2 years. But I mean, this team, I don't want to say they didn't miss a beat without Desi and Coach Mac, but you know, I asked a few players in the post games, like, how'd you kind of keep this rolling without, and what GMAC has put in and what Desi has done as the captain. I mean, they literally didn't miss a beat. Guys stepped up, aces in places, got put in different places, and were able to make an impact.
That's what it is. I mean, when you lose for a good reason, your best player, someone's got to step up.
Yeah. And
you also have to be prepared for that opportunity, right? And the part about that is that, you know, you've just look at Simon Binkley. You know, he came here, you know, beginning of February last year, played fourth line, you know, got the occasional, you know, shift here and there. And look at him this year. You know, he's playing a top 6 role and contributing every night. And I think that just shows you that it doesn't matter who you are or where you play in the lineup, you have to be ready, because there could be an opportunity for you to get a bigger role. And, you know, you look at Gavin, you know, Cornforth, who just stepped in and game 1 played first line.
Yeah.
Played on the top line, right? So it's these guys just they know to be ready, and, you know, they're prepared, you know, mentally and physically to go out there and just do whatever it takes to win, regardless of who's in the lineup and who's not in the lineup, and regardless of where they play in the lineup. They're just ready to go.
Yep. And I had a bunch of stats that I went and looked, because as I said to Taylor, these 2 seasons, these 2 first halves, just about mirror each other. And I'm not going to go through everything, but they're 26-7, 157 goals for, 100 goals against, 11-5 at home, and 15-2, which is the best road record in the league. They're the best team. They're the hottest team right now at 9-1, and they're 4-0 in their last 4. You look at last year, they were 29-5 and 2. 163 goals for, 87 against, 14-3 at home, exact same 15-2, 9-10 in their last 10, and they'd won 8 in a row. Like, and the biggest difference so far right now is the power play. I think it was at 26 or 24% last year at this time. It's at almost 30% right now. Like, the power play, and Tommy Blau is a big reason for that. He's unbelievable on that back end. And now you look at the additions that the Wildcats made. I don't want to say a little bit confusing, but Mo didn't come back.
Nope.
Which, spoiler alert, it was us.
Yeah, not sure where that rumor came from.
Yeah, not spoiler alert. Again, that was the rumor from the beginning. And it was going to be one of those tough decisions, because who do you send out, right? Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. But they went and got Evan Despatie early on. He's got 3 assists in 3 games all of a sudden. Like, he's figured it. Like, he just stepped right in. He's playing second power play, which I thought he might play, or he's playing first power play. Sorry. I thought he might play second. And then today's trade deadline. Anything that kind of jumped out at you?
Not really. No, I mean, it's like Despatie stepped in. He's like Taylor said, like he's got that personality where, you know, he's always smiling. So you that's what you want in a new player.
Yeah,
kind of shows that he likes where he's at. And no, I think we really addressed the needs on this team. Like, it's tough to say that there were needs on this team when we were sitting second overall going into the trade period, but as podcasters and as fans of this team, we spot things, right? And that first game after Christmas in Sydney, it was a terrible first period, right? And Magnuson, there was a incident that happened that I wasn't a huge fan of, and because of it, he didn't play another shift in that game,
which I love. Accountability.
But at the same, I thought, I was like, if he ends up being dealt, that very well could be why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's junior hockey. You don't smash your stick on the back of the net in frustration. If you do that in the pros, you're benched as well. So, to do that in junior, it's and I was surprised that he played the next game. I was very surprised that he was still in the lineup. I thought that was the end of his time with Moncton, but at the same time, I was like, okay, he's definitely he's out the door. Like I had that kind of that idea in my mind where that was kind of the last time that we'd see him. But if you're going to take someone like Magnuson out of the lineup, you better bring in somebody that's going to bring more, and I think Max Villain does that. He has pro hockey experience in Sweden. He's a big boy. He's a two-way defenseman. He's got mobility, so it's a Swede for a Swede.
Yeah,
and I think it's one of those things where not necessarily both guys needed a change of scenery, but I think both guys are going to have a good opportunity. And I know Otto's going to have a good chance in St. John. Max is going to have a good chance here in Moncton. So, and Cornforth for free. I mean, if you go out and you get a player like Cornforth, you're paying. You're paying for him.
If they don't draft him, it's a lot harder to get him.
It is. I mean, he's probably on. You're probably looking at a couple first round picks or a first round pick in 2 seconds to bring in a player like him, a top 6 forward, and we go and get him for free.
Yeah.
Right. And so those are the additions that are I think going to make huge dividends here coming down the stretch. And it's we got Gatineau here. Speaking of Gatineau, weather's not going to be great.
Yeah.
So if you're going to the rink, drive safe. But I'm looking forward to seeing this team. I don't think Desi's going to play Wednesday. I think they'll give him that week off and have him come back Saturday against Newfoundland. But I like the way this is put together.
Yep. They went out and got experience in Despatie, which is something I said with Marty a couple times. Like, AFG is the only Q experienced defenseman. You can never have enough defensemen. Magnuson just wasn't working. Compared to the other defensemen, and you don't want to sit the guy. So you find a spot for him. And I think Max, he's got more of an offensive upside, and that's never a bad thing. We'll see what happens in net. Again, they went out and got some bacon. Who doesn't love bacon?
We love the bacon.
And then a couple hours later, they went and got Justin Robinson, who played well in St. John.
Yep.
Was able to steal a couple games, or at least keep them close last year against us. And I saw on the board someone was saying, I think they were obviously from St. John, but his issue was playing too many games in a row. And I think if he ends up being the backup, and we don't know what's happening with Jacoby, it could be a situation where it's Rudy, and like the Oilers did in 2006, they just rotate the backup. Right? Just to keep each guy fresh in practice and stuff like that. So I know Olivier Bacon is in West Kent. So we'll see what happens with the other ones. But again, one injury away from all of it going down. And with Chicoutimi going to get a veteran Q back up in Lucas Beckman, Taylor went and got one in Justin Robinson. The price was obviously a little bit less than some of those higher end backups, but I think last year we were looking for that Loshing replacement. We were looking for that high-end forward. You said it might cost us a knee cash. We came out of here with both our first-round picks and Camden Jackson. Knee cash gets a chance to play. But I think Cornforth was the guy, was the impact forward. Like, he's not, they didn't have to give up a first in 2027 and a third and a 2028 second to go get Lacerte and kind of push everything in this year. And it comes down to coaching, and playoffs are a weird thing. And, if you can stay in that second spot, you avoid Chicoutimi until the final. And then who knows? This team has been able to, we haven't seen this team put it together with a full lineup. They could challenge for first, and then you have home ice in that final. So not only does Chicoutimi not get their cheat code, which is the ice, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of,
we're going to see them in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, and we go there the week after. So that's 8 points. That's 8 points in the stands. 4 point games.
4 point games. Yeah,
those are 2 games worth 8 points. Yeah. If you match them win for win and loss for loss the rest of the season, we're first overall to end the year.
Yeah, we're 2 points behind them. And look, anybody can beat anybody. Victoriaville went in and beat Chicoutimi when they were just blowing teams out. So, again, like you said, we got Gatineau, we got Newfoundland. We were hoping to see Max Cote in his return, and then he shipped to St. John.
Yeah, the Wildcats are quickly deleting their video montage for Max Cote.
Yeah, they're waiting till St. John comes here at the end of the month. So it's going to be an exciting second half, and it's going to be just like, it's not going to be what it was last year. But if it mirrors anything close, we're in for an exciting second half finish. And like you said early on, there's a ton of parity in this league.
Yep.
Like, just watch games around the league. I mean, who had Rouyn-Noranda and Drummondville leading the Western Conference at the deadline? Nobody. It was Blainville running away with this thing, and Chicoutimi and us. It still could be, but I mean, Shawinigan's 2 points away, and then it kind of drops off. Moncton and Chicoutimi seem to be running away, but Cape Breton, Newfoundland, Charlottetown, and Quebec. And Charlottetown got Ryabkin. Ryabkin, whatever his name is.
The Mack truck.
That's a bit of a changer for them.
It's a hothead. He's going to get suspended a couple times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's got a temper.
But that's a game changer for
them.
Like, that's one of the players they don't generally get.
Yeah, but I mean, look, just go in and play physical against him. He's going to lose his mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's, as a team and as a coach, you got to know that.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is a hothead, and he's known for being hot-headed.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah, like,
go do your thing.
He's got a short temper, and that's, I think teams will exploit that.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna end up in the penalty box a lot. And I think he's gonna end up having a couple of suspensions here in the second half. So yes, it's a big ad for Charlottetown, but I think it could also have a negative effect on their team as well.
They're used to that with Ross Campbell.
Yeah, well,
you ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Let's get out of here.
Murray Realtor, buy a house from him. Stick tap of the week.
Yeah, so next week there won't be as much Taylor Swift talk and vacation talk.
Yeah.
We'll be strictly all hockey. Back to the hockey talk next week.
And maybe another interview next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna try and get players.
We're trying to line something up.
Try and line them up as much as we can.
Ironically, the stick tap of the week is also going to our guest that we had previously in this show for doing the Lord's work when it comes to being a general manager.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned it a couple of times where, we have a possible 2028 Memorial Cup host. We're coming off a championship. We're bringing in guys without having to use assets. We still have a 2027 first round pick. We still have a 2028 first round pick. We're trying to go back to back, and we're second overall in the league.
Yep.
I think he's doing like I said, Lord's work when it comes to a GM job. And, like the second round picks that they used to acquire, Maxville and Justin Robinson were acquired from trading Nikash and McKinnon. Right. So you're taking assets that you've already you're not trading your own assets,
Yeah.
right? You're trading assets that you got from another team, and you still have Mark McPhee and Camden Jackson in the pipeline. So I think to win a championship last year, to be second overall in the league right now, 7th overall in the CHL rankings, and I think being able to have a roster on paper that could potentially go back to back, and to still have all those assets in play, I think is absolutely huge. We look at last year, we acquired Max Cote for a 3rd-round pick. We got that 3rd-round pick back in the offseason when we traded him to Gatineau, and then St. John paid a 6th, right? Like you can't say that his value dropped 3 rounds in 3 months.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. So I think Taylor, I think he just deserves all the credit in the world for what he's put together and for what he's been able to keep, and to where we are right now. So I thought completely homer stick tap of the week to Taylor MacDougall.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
February 6th, bus trip to St. John for Adam's birthday.
Does Adam know he's going on this trip? Was this?
You can sign up on Wednesday and Saturday with Tanya and Bruce, the big Adam Lund birthday bus trip to St. John. Big bender.
Was this approved by the wife?
The wife doesn't need to be approved. She
does.
It's approved by the co-host. Bus trip to St. John, February 6th, $55. Go see Tanya and Bruce at the table at tonight's game and Saturday's game to sign up.
So that brings us to the Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary Lynn Massage and Spa. Right now, they've got the teeth whitening event starting at $85. 3 15-minute sessions, including in that service price. Add another $15 for only $20. As well, they've got the loyalty card. Buy 9 spa services, gets 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or stop in at the new location, 153 McLeese, as they are now accepting new clients. It's Rudy. It's just simply Rudy.
It's Rudy.
5-0 over the Christmas break. The one loss he took, he came in relief, gave up 1 goal, took the L on it, which kind of sucks for him. But so we don't count that. The games he started, he was 5-0 and goals against average of a 2.69 in those 5 games, a save percentage of .905. He's keeping this team on track with without the head coach, without the captain. So the Wildcat of the Week is number 25, Rudy Guimond. He was also the December Player of the Month, and Tommy Blau was the honorable mention for Defenseman of the Month for the Q. So
we've also adopted the term the law firm of Rudy Robinson in Weiner.
Yep.
So that's going to be
the new
nickname for our goalie tandem.
Yep.
Our trio.
Yep.
The law firm of Rudy Robinson in Weiner.
And that'll do it for this week. Again, a little bit of a longer show with the guest and Taylor Swift talk, obviously, and travel plans. We kind of had to talk about that. It's Christmas. Hockey Day in Canada is coming up in 2 weeks. Use the promo code CanadaA, CANADAEH, to get $5 off to get seats as we take on Chicoutimi.
That's going to be a fun one.
You kind of hope you have that game with everyone around. Maybe you play a lower paper team, but I mean, you couldn't ask for a better matchup when you're putting a schedule together and when that's coming. Then
I will say Moncton. Though, we are getting Chicoutimi on the back end of a 3-3.
Yeah,
on that game. So no excuses. Wedding Crashers, rule number 76.
Play like a champion.
No excuses. Play like a champion.
But yeah, $5 off. Get your tickets for it. It's going to be an unbelievable event all week. Plus, that's a finals preview potentially. Yeah. So let's get that building full and get a home ice advantage again. Hopefully the DJ isn't there this time, but let's as fans, let's fill the building. Once again, thanks to the GM of our Wildcats, Taylor MacDougall, for joining us to discuss the trade deadline and, well, Taylor Swift. For Jeremy, I'm Adam. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.